Name doesn't show up anyway, so it doesn't matter. Never mind.
I'm driving into work this morning, like I do every other day. And I'm flipping radio channels, see what's on, see what's happening. Had a great night last night. Took the lady friend, went and saw Bon Jovi at the Well. It was great, Lonzo. I don't care what you say. It was great.
Woo! Geriatric! Woo!
Lonzo, you're like 3 years younger than him, dude.
No, he's older. He's older than
He's
that.
60.
Right. All right, so you don't math well or you're trying to offend me.
Anyway, saw Bon Jovi last night, much to Lonzo's chagrin. Whoa, we're halfway there.
All right, so my question is, do I listen to Diesel's assessment of Bon Jovi and what he tweeted, and I said Jovi, I know, or Rob's assessment of Bon Jovi?
Now I got to go see what Diesel said about Bon Jovi. I'm sure it was nothing but flattering, nothing but complimentary. You know how they say don't meet your heroes, don't see rock stars in their 60s. Whatever, Diesel. Diesel's just mad he couldn't get a mosh pit going at a Bon Jovi show. That's all. Show was good. I mean, yeah, he is 60.
A normal concert, you stand up for most of the concert. Were you sitting down for most of the concert?
No.
Because I'm guessing that the average age was older than me, and you need to sit down a little bit.
First off, no, it was not. Second off,
wait, you're saying there's a younger demographic that actually listens to Bon Jovi?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. In fact,
that's bad parenting right there. That's what that is.
In front of, this is not what I wanted to start with. In front of me and the lady
it is
friend,
what you started with.
No,
though.
I had a story about something else.
I could be quiet.
In front of me was a mom and a dad, and their two, I would say, early 20s teenage daughters, who were all jamming to Bon Jovi. Like, didn't sit down. Had the lightning bolt earrings and the slippery when wet t-shirts and everything. It was great. Anyway, point is, I got up this morning. I was a little bit later in my morning routine than I usually am for hashtag reasons. I'm driving into work and I'm flipping channels. And I come across another sports talk radio station in town.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know there's more than us. Shouldn't be, but are. I come across another sports talk radio station in town. And I'm like, you know what? Listen, I got respect for anybody who does this business. It's not easy. It's cutthroat. I don't, I strive to be the best at it. I want this station to be the best in the game. Of course, we want to railroad them. But I got respect for anybody in this business. In fact, I've got plenty of friends who do this job in other markets. And when I meet hosts from other stations in this market, I always make sure I go say hello. How's everything? How's your show going? How's the station going? I'm friendly. And then they come back from a commercial break and they run a little promo. You know those little 7, 10, 15-second promos, liners we call them, when we're coming back from a break? And their liner says, and I'm paraphrasing, but it says, you know somebody who does this, sports talk, better than us? No, you don't. They don't exist. And I just got Thanos'd off into oblivion. I just faded from oh, wait, no, I didn't. No, I'm not. I'm here.
I appreciate their confidence.
Listen, I respect it. There's a reason Lonzo and I talk about our trophy, I don't know, 2 to 6 times per show. I acknowledge there are other options in this market, though. I don't go, anybody else who does what I do doesn't exist. No. I know you think you heard them talking about sports on the radio, but it's a hallucination. They don't exist. That's Lonzo, that's borderline cocky coming from me.
No, that thing under the bed, that thing in the closet, that's us. That is us. We are real. The boogeyman exists.
And it's us.
It's us.
The boogeymen of sports talk radio, ladies and gentlemen. They'll tell you we don't exist, but we do. And we're coming for your hardware. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. How do you do? Upstate South Carolina. How are you, America? Hello, world. Great to be with you. I am Rob Brown. Directly across from me on the other side of the glass, both literally and metaphorically. Literally because he's real and exists. Metaphorically because that's a phrase they use in radio. Hashtag Dad Kicks, Colonel Grudge, the Alpha and the Omega of the Fan Upstate, the professor of perfection, the great one, Lonzo at the board. What up, Zo?
We're halfway there. Oh, my back.
Come on, man. Why do you hate fun, Lonzo? Why do you hate fun so much?
Fun should only be had by the young.
I've literally watched your show, and I know you don't believe that. All right, we got a lot of stuff to get into on the broadcast today. Hope that you will join us. Hope that you will jump on board. The phone lines are open for you at 844-FAN-PHONE, F-A-N-F-O-N-E, 844-FAN-PHONE. That is 844-326-3663. You can also get at us on the Preferred Home Services text line. That number is 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, FAN, and we'll read them on the air. Texter says, I miss the lunch breakdown. Well, I got news for you. I have started work on the new bumper for what our new opening segment is going to be, the water cooler cheat sheet, where we'll give you the top 3 items you need to know before you go gather around the water cooler to talk sports with your coworkers or your boss or whoever. That's going to be coming to you probably by the end of the week. I would guess by Friday we will intro the water cooler cheat sheet, and I'm looking forward to it. But until then, we're just instead going to get into everything else going on. We continue to break down Clemson's spring game. I got on YouTube when I got into the office this morning because it's a very viable sports broadcasting outlet. A lot of good YouTubers out there. A lot of good YouTubers out there. So I jumped on YouTube this morning, and I do some gambling stuff in the AM. I'll look around to see if there is anybody out there that's talking, we got NBA playoffs tonight. I'm also looking for it, Lonzo. Don't worry. There it is. We got NBA playoffs starting tonight, the play-in tournament, which is a playoff. It is what it is. So we got 2 teams punching tickets to the dance tonight. We got other teams that are going to be fighting for their lives. We're going to break that down coming up in a little while. Got on YouTube, and I searched Clemson spring game. Because, I like hearing opinions from a large group of people. This may shock you, but sometimes people see and talk about stuff that I miss. Not much, but every now and then. So I'm popping through some different spring practice highlights and whatnot. And what I come across are about 7 different videos from people going, after that spring game, it is evident to me that Cade Klubnik needs to be the starter. They need to replace DJ Uiagalelei with Cade Klubnik right now. And what I would tell Clemson fans, and we're going to get into this later on in the show, is, hold up. Slow your roll, dude. Slow your roll just a little bit. It was the spring game, right? Now, I told you yesterday the one reason I think the door is open for Cade Klubnik to take the starting job away from DJ Uiagalelei. Not to have DJ yanked, but to have Cade given a chance And that reason is the one thing that I saw out of DJ last year that I saw again this year in the spring game. I thought the decision-making from DJ Uiagalelei was better. I thought the confidence in his reads was better. I thought the response to pressure that he was facing was better. Thought a lot of it was better. But the one thing that got me, the one thing that I went, that'll be the reason why Cade gets his shot, was the continued lack of ability to hit the soft passes out of DJ Uiagalelei. The lack of ability to finesse the ball where it needed to be. That was the problem. That was the problem last year. I called it out a few times. Where I thought that DJ progressed through the read well. Where I thought that DJ had some good looks. Found the right guy. But then threw an absolute screamer at him when it needed to be a finesse pass. It needed to be a touch pass. It needed to be a drop pass. It needed to be a dime over the shoulder. And instead, DJ had smoke coming off the back of the rock. And I saw that again in Clemson's spring game. He had some good throws. But he also had some spots, I thought, where he kind of reverted back to what we saw out of him last year. Reverted back to the same mistakes he made last year that got him and the Clemson offense in trouble in some tougher games. I didn't see that out of Cade Klubnik. He made the finesse throws when the finesse throws were there. But the reason I say don't panic, the reason I say, it was a spring game, relax. Deep breaths, count to 10, sit in the recliner for a few minutes, watch it again. Clemson had to split an offensive line into two teams that was already missing two of its starters, right? Each one of those two teams would have had one more starting tackle if those two guys were healthy. And you'd have put together a starting five in front of whoever was the starter had that been a real game. I know I hit on this yesterday. I know we talked about this yesterday. I know I emphasized it yesterday. But as I scanned through YouTube today from a bunch of sports broadcasters, I just see unbridled levels of panic. Hey, Cade's got to be the guy. We need Cade out there now. Why is Cade not named the starter, Dabo? Dabo said, look, DJ's had a good spring. He said he's not done anything to give us a reason not to make him the starter, which is good enough for me, right? Again, we know what the changes we need to see out of DJ Uiagalelei are. We know what the changes are. Better decision-making, get through the progressions correctly and quickly, and when it's time to throw a finesse pass, throw the finesse pass. Don't try to burn that thing through the chest of your receiver. But unfortunately, only two of those things look corrected coming into spring. Doesn't mean I'm giving up. Doesn't mean I'm done. It just means he's got more progress to make. Because it is April. The first game is not until September. You got 5 months remaining. Now, I know he's a senior, right? You'd expect at this point for this to be fixed. But he's been a starter for one full season. Before that, I've told you my theory many times. I think that Dabo, I think that Clemson fans, I think that his dad built into his head that he was already good enough. Built into his head that he was ready. Built into his head that he was the next Deshaun or Kelly or Trevor. I think he showed up on campus thinking I'm the guy. I got all the tools. I'm ready to go build. He had one season of gut check reality, slap him in the face. One check of absolute reality going, nah, not yet, dude. You got work. And now you got to see if he grows from that. He looks better physically. He looks like he's in better shape. We talked about the fact that he dropped 17, 18 pounds, and it's muscle now. He looked like his reading progressions was better. I don't think he was making the same mistakes of hitting the wrong guy at the wrong point. And he looked like he was making better decisions in the face of pressure from defensive lines that were just frankly outmatching his offensive line. The only thing I need is, can you finesse the ball better? And if you can, you're going to be in good shape. However, if you are not, Cade Klubnik will be the starter by week 5. I will be able to tell you, and I'm pretty not just sincere, but confident in this. I will be able to tell you by week 5 if Cade Klubnik is starting in week 6. I'll be able to tell you by week 2 if Cade Klubnik is starting in week 6. Clemson opens on the 5th of September with Georgia Tech. Furman visits the house after that. Then it's La Tech and Wake Forest. There's the thing. There's no real elite defenses until week 5 of NC State, right? They put together some really good defensive lines over the year. I'm not worried about Georgia Tech. All due respect to my Furman friends. You guys are just outmatched. That's a paycheck game. It is what it is. La Tech, and then Wake Forest, who don't know what Wake Forest is going to be now. They lost some talent. NC State's going to throw a good front 5 at you. But I don't need an elite defense to see whether or not DJ has learned how to hit the finesse pass. We're going to see that out the gate early. Georgia Tech will push him. When a guy gets into the middle of the zone, when he's got a spot and he's got the cornerback in his back pocket and you've got to drop a dime up over his shoulder, can you do it, or are you going to drill the DB in the back of the helmet again? Which one is it? If he's doing that in week number 1, Cade's starting in week number 6 against Boston College. In week number 1, if he is dropping the finesse passes, DJ Uiagalelei will have a good season. It's really that simple to me. We did not get enough out of the spring game to say he definitely has or has not. He looks shaky, but confident. Now we get to see what he looks like in fall camp. Now we get to see what he looks like in weeks 1 and 2 to see if he stays the starter or if the YouTubers slamming the panic button over the last 2 days get their wish. 844-FAN phone, 844-FANFONE. Call in, let me know. Clemson fans, I'm looking for you. I want to hear from you. Where are you guys? You have now had a couple of days to digest the spring game, to evaluate DJ Uiagalelei's play, to evaluate the play of Cade Klubnik. Does Dabo need to go ahead and push the reset button now? Or are you giving DJ some time after what you saw in the spring game? Looking for your thoughts, 844-FANFONE, 844-326-3663. You can text your thoughts to the Preferred Home Services text line at 71307 as well. Let's take a break. When we come back here in just a minute, yesterday, I told you the future of college sports is all about selling yourself and your culture to a recruit. They play for the me, not the you. And South Carolina, the Gamecocks, have just put evidence of that on the board. I'll tell you what I mean when we come back. I'm Rob. He's Zoe. This is the most definitely existing sports talk show in all of the Palmetto State. This is the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Hello, Upstate South Carolina. Great to be with you. I am Rob Brown. The great one, Lonzo, sitting across from me on the other side of the glass. Join us on the live stream. You can do it at facebook.com/thefanupstate. Or you can join us on YouTube. Get the YouTube app on your phone, on your smart TV, on your laptop. Search The Rob Brown Show. Like and subscribe to that channel. And you can watch Zoe and I do the show on the daily. We've been doing this about a year and a month now. We've been live.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You can yell at the screen, "Get a haircut, you hippie."
You can watch us get progressively better looking day by day.
It does work that way.
It does.
You can look at the hat that Rob's wearing right now, which is it's just awesome.
It's loud.
It is very
That's what I was
loud.
going for. So I told you guys yesterday when I created my favorite new catchphrase on the spot. In the day of modern sports, you don't have to like it. You do have to accept it. Players play for the me, not the you. Right? When college athletics made recruiting not just a national system, but an international system. For those of you that missed the show about a week and a half ago, I went to the junior college of Northwest Florida State. That's where I got my Associate of Arts degree, which is step one in getting your bachelor's. Got my AA from Northwest Florida State College. The Raiders. Named after, for some fun trivia, Jimmy Doolittle's Raiders that flew the bombing missions over Japan, got stranded in mainland China. A little bit of fun history to read up if you want to jump down a rabbit hole. Jimmy Doolittle and his Raiders. They did all their training at Eglin Air Force Base, which is right next to where I lived. So when Northwest Florida State College decided to pick a mascot, they picked the Raiders. Anyway, went and looked at the basketball roster for Northwest Florida State College Raiders. And there were players on it from Senegal, from the Republic of Georgia, not the one with Atlanta in it, like the country Georgia. There was one from the Republic of Congo. And stateside, there were players from Texas. There were players from Kansas. There were players from California. It is not just a nationwide process anymore. It is an international process. Do you think that the young man playing for Northwest Florida State College Raiders from Senegal or Georgia, the country, not the state, or the Republic of Congo, you think those guys grew up as big Raiders fans? A lot of Northwest Florida State College Raiders fans over in Senegal? Probably not. Be hard-pressed to find any D1 gear at all, I'm sure, in Senegal. But they ended up there anyway. And do you know why? It is because the coaches that have come through Northwest Florida State College, Steve DeMayo is one of them. The last coach before DeMayo was Steve Forbes. Steve Forbes is currently the head coach at Wake Forest. The coaches that come through there are coaches that are on their journey to D1 basketball teams. And they bring these guys in there by going, you can do the same thing. You come here, you sharpen your skills, you get better, you go D1 for a year, and then you hit the league. Chris Duarte, starting forward for the Pacers in the NBA, sharpened his teeth at Northwest Florida State College. I call play-by-play for him when I was down there in little old Niceville, Florida. Players play for the you, or excuse me, play for the me, not the you. And we have now seen proof of that after Frank Martin was released by the Gamecocks. I came on the air the day after Frank Martin got canned because remember, that call got made, as it typically and traditionally does, while Lonzo and I were going off the air that day. Frank Martin gets released, and I came on the next day and said, Gamecocks fans, relax. You're going to lose players, okay? You're going to lose players. Guys are going to transfer out because they did not come to be a Gamecock. They came to play for Frank Martin. And now, 6 players have transferred out of the Gamecocks program since the firing of Frank Martin and the hiring of Lamont Paris out of Chattanooga. 2 of them so far. Taquan Woodley and, who was the other one? I just blanked on the other one. Taquan Woodley announced that he was gone. Wildens Levesque. I knew it. Wildens Levesque, sorry. Forgive me. Taquan Woodley and Wildens Levesque have both transferred out of the program and have both transferred to UMass. Why UMass? You know who the head coach at UMass is today? Frank Martin. The same dude. They followed their coach. And there's a chance, potentially, that there might be another. But you were talking 2 of 6 players. A third of the transfers out of South Carolina directly followed Frank Martin to UMass because they're playing for the coach, not for the program. I was listening to that other show on that other station on the drive in this morning, and they were talking Clemson basketball, and they were talking Brad Brownell, and they had a guy call the show. And he said, you know, one thing that's missing from this team is Clemson is not really hitting on their basketball history, right? They're not really selling that they used to be a good basketball team. They're not really selling that this used to be a powerhouse, and because it used to be a powerhouse, it could be a powerhouse again. I got news. The history of your program means jack nothing to recruits. Right? Duke and Carolina haven't historically had 2 of the top 5 recruiting classes every single year because of the history of Duke and Carolina. It is because of the present, the current of Duke and North Carolina. It's that simple. Guys aren't going there because Jordan went there. They're going there because Carolina is a perennial Final Four threat. Guys weren't going to Duke because Shane Battier went there or J.J. Redick went there. They're going there because up until he left, Mike Krzyzewski had Duke as an Elite 8 Final Four team every year, or at least one that could make it there every year. Going, we used to be, we were, back in the day. That doesn't do anything. You can keep those traditions within the culture, right? Like, I doubt there's very many Indiana basketball players who are really geeked about those red and white striped pajama pants that their teams wear as warm-ups, right? If you asked college recruits, what's the coolest looking basketball? I promise you, Indiana isn't getting love, but they still get guys to show up. Why? Not because of the history, but because they work those traditions into a new culture. So when I listen to that caller go, we should be selling our history to recruits, they don't care. Guys are coming to play for your coach. They're coming to play for your culture. So ultimately what I'm driving at here is if you are a Gamecock basketball fan, If you're a Clemson Tiger basketball fan, hell, while we're at it with Brad Brownell, if you are a basketball fan of the two schools in our area, specifically South Carolina with a brand new coach, you ought to be throwing every resource you have at that guy to let him build the culture that he sees working at South Carolina. And it's a gamble. His culture might not work. Florida State did that with Willie Taggart on the football field. They let Willie Taggart have what felt like an unprecedented amount of power at Florida State. Not in terms of being a coach, but in terms of building the culture that he thought would work in Tallahassee. And Florida State came out that first year under Taggart, and boy, were the players hype. They had the swag surf. They were leaning and swaying. It was great. Except for the team sucked, right? Because you got to have guys that buy into the culture, but they want to excel too. It's hard. It's not easy. But if you're South Carolina, you better throw every resource you've got behind Lamont Paris and let him build a culture like he started to do for the Mocs at Chattanooga. That's why Lamont Paris had not one but two D1 transfers onto his roster, including one guy that, if I recall correctly, played for Kansas. Yep, that Kansas, the defending national champions. Culture wasn't a good fit for him there. He bailed out. Lamont said, how about checking out Chattanooga, the Mocs? And the culture fit for him, so he went there. What'd the Mocs do? No big deal. Broke Furman's heart in the SoCon final and made a run at the dance. And by the way, we're a point away from knocking off the Big Ten's Illinois in the first round. One basket drops for the Mocs, and they win that game and move to the round of 32 out of the Southern Conference. That's the point that I'm trying to make to you. It is not about selling the university to the kid. It's about selling the culture of the program to the kid. And if it happens to fit with the university, great. Yeah, you want kids that want to be a Gamecock, but the definition of the phrase want to be a Gamecock is different than it used to be. It used to be you wanted guys who wanted to show up and rep the garnet and black and put that rooster on the front of the shirt and rock it around town because playing there is all that mattered. Now it's, do you want to be a part of this program, this culture, and then put the Gamecock on after that? The teams that have done that for years, Duke, Carolina, Kansas, they stay on top of the game. Bill Self stays on top of the game. Jay Wright stays on top of the game. Mike Krzyzewski stayed on top of the game. And by the way, a brand new player on the scene, Hubert Davis. He saw how they built the culture at North Carolina. He saw how Roy did it. He did the same thing. Anybody want to remind me of where North Carolina finished their season this year? 2 injuries away from a national championship. It works, but it takes a bit of humility. It takes looking at yourself in the mirror and going, our school, our logo, our colors are not as important as whatever it is that top-tier recruit is looking for in a program. We got to build that. And then let the school jump on board with the success that has. You do that, you're successful. You don't, you toil for a while. That's how the game works. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 1 here in just a minute from right now. Coming up at 11:20 this morning, it's Tuesday. Time for a little faces and heels. Can't wait. It's Lonzo's smile when I say that makes me so excited about it. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate. Zach, I'm going to need that story. Getting arrested on a military base is not a good thing.
suddenly having things deleted, and I don't know if maybe I just didn't put them in or someone decided to take them out. Unfortunately, I didn't save it. So
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different how? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
I'm guessing Howie's is pizza.
Yeah, Hungry Howie's. United States of America versus Zachary Grant. That's awesome.
Probably not for you though when it was going on. Probably wasn't awesome then. It's probably like, oh crap, I'm in so much trouble. Hi, Stephen.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can really control your savings. Because when you drive less, you save more with pay per mile. So you're really in control of your savings. Only paying for the miles you drive. Yeah, life is good when you're in the driver's seat. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings vary subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Northbrook, Illinois. 70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom. With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning.
I saw a meme the other day that said Skype blew a 28-3 lead to Zoom.
And phones with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects. Circle up, team. We've got status.
Evelyn's marketing consultancy client roster is skyrocketing.
So this week is a biggie. We've got the pitch and
Steven, welcome in, fella.
Analyst before her team's free time plummets. Indeed can help her hire great people fast. Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects
Oh, that sucks, dude.
candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and
Yeah, most of the MPs I met when I were there, I was
and conditions apply.
an honorary commander on Eglin of the 96 Communications Squadron, which was one of the coolest things I ever got to do. And most of the MPs I met when I was on base were pretty laid back dudes. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is the Fan Upstate. Steven says, I assume you did the adult thing, Rob, and did not go see the Bob Jovi concert last night. It's Bob Jovi. Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer. That's Bob Dylan does Bon Jovi.
That was not very
That's
good.
Bob Jovi. I didn't say it was good,
Okay,
Lonzo.
I expect more from you.
You should not. You just should not. No one should, frankly. No one should.
Yeah, he was there in the second row. You couldn't get in the front row because all the walkers.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Jovi, brought to you by Metamucil. Proudly sponsored by the AARP. Whatever, dude. Show was good. It was fun. And I'll tell you this, Lonzo. If either you or I can get around a stage like Bon Jovi does at 60, I'll be impressed.
I think the real question, can Sambora still play?
Sambora's not with the band anymore.
Why would you
I
go
know.
then? Why would you go?
John Bon Jovi.
Yeah, but no Sambora. Sambora was that band.
No, it's literally Bon Jovi in the name of the band.
Yeah, nothing more arrogant than, naming the band after yourself.
Who would do anything like that? Who would have a show and name it after themselves? In fairness, I only did it because all of the marketing was already done. I didn't feel like starting over. That's it. Yes. I did. Steven says, well, in fairness, Bon does look like a Bob now.
He does. He absolutely does.
I will say this. I don't know if this is like a thing that happens when you're 60 and white, but he had a lot of dance moves that matched Mick Jagger's for no reason at all. A lot of the
It's not really dancing. It's not. That's how he moves now.
This is the only way I can move that doesn't cause pain. He at one point, in fact, the lady friend was like, is he trying to be Mick Jagger? And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure once you hit 60, that's just the only dance moves you've got anymore.
Yeah, because if you try to do something that requires a little leg movement
Throw
or
out a
something,
hip.
you could. You absolutely could.
Lose a groin.
You might have fallen and can't get up. You don't want that happening on stage.
At one point, you know the Jagger patented chicken walk that he does with the hands behind the hips and the elbows pointed back and the chicken head.
Yeah, I know someone at this station who takes pictures like that.
He did that a couple of times. And she looked at me. She's like, he's got to be doing this on purpose, right?
Well, yeah, because, man, when that pain hits, if you put your hand on it and you push in.
That's not a dance. That's him rubbing his back like, oh, God, I'm 60. Why am I still doing this? It was a good show. Whatever.
I shouldn't have bought that semi-pro football team. Should have saved some money. No, I'm out here at 60.
You know what you know what else he does? Runs on his own dime a food kitchen in Philly that he also volunteers at and does not allow media in for it.
Which is awesome. Doesn't make him any less old, though.
Stop hating. Such a hater. Such a hater. All right. When we come back on the show, there's been a budding story. That's Budding.
He said, buddy.
Yeah. It's been a budding story regarding the rumor that Thomas Brady not only was almost a Dolphin, but that he may have been in the works to bring another very successful NFL head coach down there. And it all got blowed up by the Brian Flores lawsuit. Is that on Brady? We're going to talk, not the lawsuit. That's obviously not on Brady, but the blowing up of it. We're going to talk about that. I don't know if it's too late for this story, but I liked it. You know, we always make fun when we talk about the Masters. Jim Nantz opens it with, "Hello, friends." He has finally shared the story as to where that catchphrase came from. Now we know why Nantz says hello, friends. Kind of a cool story. I like it. We'll tell you what that is. And it is NBA play-in day one, ladies and gentlemen. Time for us to take a look at our long shots and our odds-ons. I got some betting advice for you on the NBA playoffs. All that and more coming up on The Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
You almost did it, didn't you?
There are some coworkers that when I see them walking into the bathroom, I just turn around. I'm like, I'll just wait.
Do they do the same thing when they see you walk into the bathroom?
No, because if I know it's going to be one of those, I just wait till I leave like a civilized person.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see
Maybe we need a hazmat magnet to throw up on the door.
We need a bathroom that's number one only is what we need.
Find what you love. Love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Wondrous selection, expert guides, totally low prices. Drink responsibly. B21.
Make it a habit of holding your breath when you go in there. You might be all
Dude,
right.
I don't know if it would matter. I don't think I've heard this one yet.
Merely coincidence. Yes, you have.
Does it bother you though when there's an entire wall of urinals, you're in one, and guy walks up to the one right next to you? It's just a little bit like, dude, you got all that. Why, what you up to?
I'll put it this way. I'm secure enough in my masculinity that I don't. Masculinity. I swear to you, one day I will have a promo that does not have me talking bad in it.
I can't help it. Like
It's not you, it's me.
Well, like the best.
I don't give you more than 3 sentences.
The best promo-worthy stuff. You mess
Yeah.
up one word every
You know
time.
why? Because when I get onto a roll on something that's promo worthy, I get excited, and I just sound like an idiot.
You know, like
Early in my career, my dad told me he was going to buy a big neon sign that just says "slow down" to put in every studio I ever work in.
you know, what I can do. I can start replacing the one word with just always, or just.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The second hour of the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate starts now. Rob, Lonzo, and you. What's up, Upstate South Carolina? Hello, America. Hello, world. I am Rob Brown. Directly across from me, the great one, Lonzo. And you. Phone lines open, 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FANFONE. You can also text the show on the Preferred Home Services text line 71307. You can tweet us if you are a twit like we are by going to @TheRobBrownShow on Twitter, @TheRobBrownShow, and @Lonzo on Words. Starts with an L, not an A. Lonzo on WORD. If you want to send us some twits, join us on our social media as well. Facebook.com/TheFanUpstate, Twitter.com/TheFanUpstate, and you can watch the show live on the Facebook page or by opening up the YouTube application and searching The Rob Brown Show. Do me a favor, like and subscribe to that channel, and you can watch the show live every single day as Lonzo and I do our darndest to give you the best sports talk radio show in the Palmetto State. I got a theory based on watching the NBA. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm kind of getting to the point that I'm thinking something that you all have complained about for a very long time in the world of basketball might be coming to its conclusion. I think the era of the super team is over. I think the era of the super team is over, and it's for a good reason. I'm going to grab, if you don't mind, Lonzo, the only clip I have in the roster today. This is from Russell Westbrook. From Russell Westbrook. Frank Vogel, the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, was relieved of his duties yesterday. The story has been popped out that Lakers players were disrespectful to Frank Vogel, up to and including Russell Westbrook. Brooke. Again, sorry. So Russ, yesterday, remember the Lakers are done. Russ yesterday was sitting in a presser and was asked, hey, how come you and Frank didn't get along? How come you and Frank weren't buddy-buddy? And Russell Westbrook responded like this.
I'm always having to like prove myself again in the year after year after year, which is to me just unfair. There's really no reason I have to do that. So when I first got here, I just felt that I never was given a fair chance just to be who I needed to be able to help this team. When you have to like try to like prove to people or try to let people take this perception of who they think of me and kind of, what people may have said about me, it kind of takes you coming in like, okay, well, good luck, type of thing. And I just never felt I had a fair chance on the basketball front on any front. I'm not sure what his issue was with me, or I'm not sure why, but I can't really give you an answer why we never really connected. Maybe, that's something that he has to answer, but I never, from the get-go was feeling like I was having to like try to prove myself to him and my capabilities and what I've been able to do for this game. And it's unfortunate, but it's really not kind of out of my hands.
How you doing over there, Alonzo? You all right, buddy?
Yeah, because
Looks like you were getting a migraine.
well, because obviously the NBA more so than any other league needs coaching to help players shoot the ball correctly, make the right decision, make the right passes. Because at this level, obviously, coaching is very, very important. And Russell Westbrook didn't get along with the coach, and that's the reason why he struggled this year. I'm sure I agree with you. We've all wondered why, Russ? Why did you struggle this year? Now we know. Now we know. It was all the coach.
Yeah, it was all on the
Because
coach,
you reach a level, you no longer have to prove yourself anymore. Or at least most people don't, but apparently he still does. Maybe he'll get there someday.
So I'm going to start with this. Russ, I got to tell you, I don't think that there is anything more annoying that I have heard in a hot minute. In a hot minute. Than a guy going, I have to prove myself every. Yes! Yeah. That's how jobs work. Russ, that's how jobs work. And I don't care what job you do, right? I don't care if you're a waiter in a restaurant. I don't care if you're a bartender. I don't care if you're a garbage man. I don't care if you're a coach. I don't care if you're a player. I don't care if you're a banker, a real estate agent, a lawyer, a doctor. Of course, you have to prove yourself. Of course you have to prove yourself. That's not an option. That's just how it works. That's just how it goes. You prove yourself. Every time you step out onto the basketball court, you are asked to prove yourself. So that, to me, is just a throwaway. I don't understand you showed up and you were bad. You were bad at you were just bad at basketball, man. You were just bad at basketball. I don't know what to tell you. If you are going to complain about it, just end up in a different spot. Texas fan said, even porn stars have to prove themselves, right? Every job you do, you have to prove yourself. I just said it. Every job. You have to prove yourself. So that, to me, like I hear Russ talking about that, and I'm like, dude, what are you talking about, man?
You do earn a level of respect after a while where people will cut you some slack on some things. But if you come out and you're just not good, you got to blame that on you. You can't be blaming it on other people.
Yeah. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I feel like I had to come out and prove myself. Yeah. Every person with a job feels that way.
My question is, why didn't you?
Yeah. If you felt that way, you probably should have, I don't know, done that. That would have helped you.
Did maybe you prove that the coach's doubts were well-founded, possibly? Maybe?
Maybe he had a point, eh? Maybe he had a point. Now, here's the second thing. I told you a second ago that I think that the era of the super team is over at this point. I think the era of the super team is over. I think we're at a point where you're not going to see that happen much more often. And it's because of what's happened with the Lakers. It's because of what's happened with the Nets, right? The Nets were supposed to be the team that changed the game. Supposed to be the team. And instead, there was so much bickering and infighting that James Harden grumbled his way out just like he grumbled his way in. I read an article this morning from a beat writer that was covering this team. And they were talking about how Kyrie Irving came to be on this team. And how leading up to the acquisition of Kyrie, he said the Nets staff was sitting down at a team meeting one day and was effectively saying to, or being told by other NBA teams, you don't want this guy, right? He is a me guy and only a me guy. He is a guy that is going to put himself above the team no matter what. He's a guy that does not want to fit into whatever system you build unless you build that system around him. He showed up. That's what happened. Between that and the vaccination status that kept him from playing the majority of the games at home in Brooktown, the Nets are in the play-in tournament. You look at the Lakers and Frank Vogel. What happened there? When you got Braun and AD and Russell Westbrook. Listen, you guys know I've been players first, right? I'm a player first guy. The players provide the product, not the league. The league organizes it, but the players provide the product. We are at a point now where I think we're at a point where the players have gotten to the point that they don't need coaches, right? Or they feel like they don't need coaches. They don't need coaches. They don't need guys running the show. It's our show. We're going to do it. We're going to do it our way. And that worked, right? That's worked for a number of years. It worked for the Big Three in Boston. It worked for the Big Three in Miami. It worked for Kobe and Shaq in LA. It's worked. But I think it's gotten to the point that the players have gone too far. It's gotten to the point where there are so many players who go me before we that super teams don't work because there's just not enough room for the ego, right? If you give me 3 star players, but all 3 of the star players is playing their own game, it's not going to work. I don't care how good they are. I will take a young guy like Ice Trae and an Atlanta team that plays together. I will take Ja Morant and the Grizz. These young cats that are stepping up to be the next crop of superstars aren't doing any of this. Now, maybe that changes down the line, right? Ice Trae makes a couple of deep playoff runs, finds himself in a conference finals here and there. Ja Morant does the same thing. And maybe one day they turn into a Russell Westbrook or a James Harden or a Kyrie or a Kevin Durant. Maybe. But right now, they haven't done it. Luka Doncic hasn't been that guy, right? Now, we are working under the impression that the reason that Rick Carlisle has gone from Dallas is because he and Luka didn't see eye to eye. And at the end of the day, it has been made known by the Dallas Mavericks that superstars are bigger than coaches now. I don't think it used to be that way, right? I don't think there was a point that any old school Celtics fans were going, yeah, Red Auerbach's not quite as important as the Celtics around him. But sports evolves. It evolves constantly. And it's evolving now. But I think it's going the other way. I think you're at a point where the big threes, the KD, Kyrie, and Hardens of the world, there's not enough room for all of that to exist on one NBA franchise. You combine that with the fact that there are small market teams like Milwaukee with Giannis, like, if he sticks around, New Orleans with Zion. There are small market teams that have gotten to the point where they can afford a max contract, where they could afford a superstar. We can have one marquee guy here. Giannis in Milwaukee, Zion in New Orleans. Devin Booker to some degree in Phoenix, although CP3 is still studding out. Smaller teams can now have a marquee guy and afford a marquee guy and then build a good team around him. I hope Zion gets his life together and sticks around, because look at the team that they built around him without him even being there. How much better is Brandon Ingram if Zion Williamson's there for him to dish to, right? How much better is CJ McCollum as a point guard if he's got Ingram on the wing and Z on the elbow, forcing defenses to collapse to protect the rim? Small market teams can do it. And now that we have gotten to the point that you see that, at least in the latest few rounds of experiments, more than two superstars on a team more often than not is failing. It failed in LA. It failed in Brooklyn. We're going to see what happens in Philly, right? Ben Simmons and James Harden can coexist because they play two very different positions. KD, Kyrie, and Harden did not. Braun, AD, and Westbrook did not. So maybe it works in Philly, but again, they got other good players, but that's two names on the marquee, which I think is about where you can max out in the NBA right now. And by the way, there's a lot of folks in Vegas fading the Nets not to even make it to the official playoffs, to get bounced in the play-in tournament, because the chemistry just doesn't exist. They've had Kyrie back full-time for what, 2 weeks now? A week and a half? They're not put together. So I'm intrigued to see if the NBA starts to get away. Now, keep in mind, the super team in Brooklyn, was put together because if Kyrie did not show up in Brooktown, neither was Kevin Durant. That was a condition KD wanted to play for Brooklyn. I want Kyrie there too. And they flew in the face of all of the warnings from other NBA teams who were going, not the guy, man. He's going to blow up your system. He doesn't want to be within the system. He's going to blow it up. They flew in the face of that because they wanted KD, and Kyrie because they wanted KD. Look at both. Harden fought his way in because he went, ooh, I want to be on a super team. No, you don't. No, you don't. You want to be the super team. But look at the Nets. In the play-in tournament, they were supposed to be, and I believed that they would be, the best offense in the history of the association. I thought the Nets would have more points this year than any team in NBA history in a single season. Nope. Too much ego, not enough space, and they paid for it. Now they're in a do-or-die situation in the play-in tournament. Not a great look. In fact, it's a very bad look. Let's take a break. What's your thoughts if you're an NBA fan? Hit me with them on the text line, Preferred Home Services text line, 71-307. Start your text with FAN. We'll read them on the air. Got a few texts to answer when we come back. Give us a call as well, 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FANFONE, 844-326-3663. Let's take a break. We're back right after this. My name is Rob. His name is Lonzo. This is the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
Where's mine?
Wednesday, mostly cloudy, high of 80 degrees. Thursday, chance for showers and storms, cloudy, high of 76. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Puchitsky on the Fan Upstate.
Currently, it's 66.
Target this under in an NL East showdown. I'm Joe Giglio here to help you beat the books with BetQL. The Phillies lineup is loaded, but they went over their total in just one of their first three games. The BetQL model thinks the under is worth another look today against the Mets. BetQL has under 9 as a 5-star best bet. They see a full run of value on this total. I'm Joe Giglio. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL app today.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being
So I'm thinking, I haven't had a haircut in a year. It might be time to get a haircut. Do you guys go to a barbershop, or do you go to one of the chain places to get your haircut? Or maybe go to the salon. I don't know. I have found that some places charge you more when your hair is longer, which I think is just crazy because, you're there to cut hair. Why are you charging me more because my hair is longer? Because you got to work a little bit harder? I don't know. I don't get it. I have found that I'm treated a little bit better at a traditional barbershop. But if I have to pay extra to get my hair cut, I might as well go somewhere where they treat me well. And I will say, for the most part, if I do go get my hair cut, you probably won't notice. See, the problem with that, Mike, is some of those places, those chain places, if I go get my hair cut there, that's what I'm talking about. They charge me extra because my hair is below my collar, which is stupid because I'm going there to get my hair cut because it's below my collar.
What barbershop is it, Tayshaun? Because your boy might be in the market for a haircut in the next few days. Not what might be, is definitely.
More than likely, I will go where I've went the last couple of times, which is where we have done a live remote from, and they always treat me really well. I realized I didn't get my hair cut at all last year. At least I don't believe so. It's slowing down. Should be down to my glutes by now.
My glutes.
That's the one, Tayshaun.
Yeah.
The only bad part about it for me is I basically, if I'm coming from home, that's like a 40-minute drive. But, But me getting a haircut's an event. So, if I got to drive a little bit further, one of these days I'm going to shock everybody and get like a
Buzz cut.
Yeah.
High and tight.
Well, I can't go all the way buzz because of too many scars. You think I'm joking.
Texas says in Westbrook's statement there were an unusual amount of I's and me's used. That's what I'm talking about, right? I think you've gotten to the point where, and I hate talking like this because now I've gotten to the point where I sound like, speaking of I statements, I sound like all those old sports writers that I make fun of all the time, right? They don't do it like I did back in our day. They should read the books of Red Auerbach.
But actually, what you are wanting is, and it seems like they are going back to those days. The teams that are winning are actually teams, as opposed to having the big superstars all put together and making a championship team out of it. Seems like it's back to regular teams now.
Yeah, look at the two teams that were in it last year, right? Milwaukee and Phoenix. Those are two damn good basketball teams. That doesn't mean they don't have a stud. But Milwaukee took Giannis Antetokounmpo, and don't forget. I've said this a bunch of times. Giannis is the 1 in a million, right? You're going to be very lucky as a small market team to stumble into a Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's not a lot of them. A guy that, yeah, he wants to win titles, and yeah, he wants to get the bag. But at the end of the day, he wants to win championships, and he's fine to do it in Milwaukee, right? Giannis ain't about selling shoes and jerseys and being on posters. Giannis is about winning titles. And he did. The Phoenix Suns. They got a couple of good players. Devin Booker is the deal, man. He is for real. But they went and got CP3 to ease up the ball handling pressure on him. They built a team around him, and they built a team up that is very comfortable allowing him to thrive as the star because they know it's going to take him to the top. DeAndre Ayton could be a starter on a lot of other teams. I mean, he's not going to be Ben Simmons or excuse me, Joel Embiid. But he could be a star on other teams. Mikal Bridges. Here you go, Lonzo, fun trivia fact. And the entire National Basketball Association, how many players played all 82 games on their schedule this year?
Well, I'm guessing there was at least one because
Mikal Bridges did it.
Yeah. I'm going to go 3.
There were 5. There were 5 players.
Yay, load management.
It was, let's see. See if I can. I know Mikal Bridges was one. I got to remember who it was. Kevin Looney was one. Mikal Bridges, Looney, Dwight Powell, Sadiq Bey, and Denis Avdija are the 5. And by the way, you don't know about 4 of those guys, right? Like maybe Mikal Bridges' name rings to you.
Hey, I've heard of Bridges. The other guys, no clue.
Mm-hmm. Now,
there's a guy named Looney who plays. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, plays for Golden State. Like I said, you haven't heard about a lot of these cats. Now, in basketball, listen, I'm not mad about it, right? Like, to me, an NBA player playing all 82 is like getting perfect attendance in high school, right? Like, at the end of the day, nobody's throwing you a party for it. Like, cool, nice, good job. We're proud of you, I guess. Because it's a physical game, man. And especially this year, with the schedule so clumped together and a lot of, less than 1 day turnarounds on long roadies and multiple day games against the same team. Guys are going to get bumped. They're going to get banged. They're going to get bruised. Ankles get turned and rolled. But
see, just like any other job, if you're scheduled to work, show up to work. If you got an injury, I get that. But if not, if you just, I'm just a little tired. Does that work, Rob? If you say, I'm tired Friday, sorry, Mark, I'm not coming in because I'm just tired. So you'll need to find someone to fill in for me, and that's okay. That's okay.
I've been on the air since February 25th of 2 years ago. So 2 years and coming up on 2 months. I've used 1 sick day since I got here. And it was because I broke my front 2 teeth off. So if I'd have done this, though, it would have sounded like this. And I did not think this was going to be great radio.
It would have been awesome. It absolutely would have been awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rob Brown Show. It was not great radio, I promise.
Sound like that. You could have just did baseball stats the entire show. It would have been great.
The 1970s New York Mets. I did my show when I got Bell's palsy for no reason. And that was shoe for front line show because I couldn't say the word sports. Here for a sports talk radio show. I can make fun of me because it was me. I mean, listen, I take pride of showing up and working. Like 2 weeks ago, woke up with a migraine. Shut up, work. It's what I do. I like my job. I want to work hard to keep it. But you know what else I am? As much as you hear me and Lonzo talk about how we are the best sports talk radio show in the state according to the South Carolina Broadcasters Association, you know how me and Lonzo plug the fact that we're good at what we do? You know what else we are? Team players. Because we recognize that the success of the fan upstate means success for us too. The success of the fan upstate means Lonzo and I get more opportunities to shine. When the fan upstate grows, there's more room for Lonzo and I to grow. I know a lot of radio dudes who have placed self above station. Do you know where most of them wind up? Unemployed. There's a few that make it big. Skip Bayless is one of those guys. He's always been a me first guy. And look at him now. But I promise you he's the exception, not the rule. The NBA's learning this the hard way. You get a lot of guys that start begging to be on a super team. James Harden, KD and Kyrie, LeBron. And it's gotten to the point that it is biting them more than it is boosting them. Look at the Nets. Supposed to be the best team in the NBA maybe ever. Instead, they're in a play-in tournament presented, Lonzo, by MetaQuest. I'm assuming that's a Facebook thing, but I don't know. That's the game the Nets are in.
I thought maybe it was in association with Meta World Peace, but maybe I'm wrong.
The most ironic name in history. They're in the play-in tournament. Because they had three guys that said, I want to do it my way. KD wanted to run the organization his way. Kyrie wanted to play basketball his way. And James Harden wanted everything his way. So now Harden is a 76er. And KD and Kyrie are effectively 2 games away from being eliminated before the playoffs even start. Yikes. I don't know what to tell you. I think the era of the super team is over. Until it swings back the other way. Until it gets to a point that players are spread out everywhere because they're too grouped up right now. So they do spread out across the league. Stars have their own teams the way that they used to. And 2 of them go, you know what? I've been carrying this team on my back. We're doing really good. But what if we had a super team? And it starts again, just like it did with Boston. With Pierce, Garnett, and Allen. It worked great for a couple of years. Worked in Miami with Bosh, Wade, and James. Worked in LA with Shaq and Kobe. It'll work again. But right now, the super team has become so normalized that guys think they can have the... If you have the attitude of me, I am the superstar, I am the marquee guy, and you are the only marquee guy on the team, that'll work if they build a team around it, right? Again, Giannis ain't changing Giannis's game. Devin Booker hasn't changed Devin Booker's game. So when you have a guy that has that attitude and you build a team around him by himself, if he buys into it, you're going to be just fine. But when you got 3 of those guys, heck, even 2 of those guys, and they're not willing to lay it down to be a super team as opposed to a group of super players, you're going to get Nets'd. You're going to get Lakers'd. That's just what's happening. Let's take a break. We'll come back here in just a minute. Got some more thoughts on Clemson spring game just around the corner. I'm going to run at you, see how you feel about it. Need to talk about the growing rumor that Tom Brady was supposed to be a Miami Dolphin and was supposed to bring a top-tier head coach with him. Who? How? Why? Break that down next. My name is Rob Brown. The great Lonzo's at the helm. You are listening to The Rob Brown Show. You are listening to the Fan Upstate.
QC.
Tell you about my friends at QC Kinetics. Ladies and gentlemen, QC Kinetics. We pair with QC Kinetics because I'm old and broken. It just is what it is. No, don't awe me. I know it's true. It's fine. I like it. It means I put in work when I was younger and in my more formidable days. But unfortunately, that work has led to joint pain, and it's real. And not just joint pain, but it's that fear, that knowledge that when I wake up tomorrow, because I got out and played a little golf this weekend, I know my back is going to be killing me. Killing me. It's an unfortunate reality, but a reality nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen. It's just what you deal with. So you call QC Kinetics at 864-448-3772, and you mention the Rob Brown Show, and you get the first consultation for free, and you find out how it is that they can help you regenerate and heal that connective tissue that causes joint pain without surgery. No slicing and dicing. Professional athletes have used this therapy for years. They used to have to travel to Europe to get this therapy, but now it's available not just here in the States, but in your own backyard, right here in the upstate, right here in Greenville, South Carolina. You go in, you meet Dr. Richard Schaefer, you get the non-surgical regenerative therapy, you are back on your day-to-day flow just like that. If you want to learn more, and if you have joint pain, I promise you do, call them at 864-448-3772. Again, mention the Rob Brown Show and get that first consultation for free. You can also check them out online at qckinetics.com, qckinetix.com, qckinetics.com. It's our friends at QC Kinetics. Ooh, presents.
Yeah, I'm sure yours are better than mine.
I bet they're exactly the same.
No, I'm just talking about what is on them.
Mine just says host of the Rob Brown Show.
Okay.
What's yours say? Executive producer?
Yeah.
It's literally better.
No, it's not.
Why can't I be executive host of the Rob Brown Show?
You could be. It would mean about as much as executive producer. I mean, you know. No, there's like a mobile number on there. I have no idea what number that is. Because it's not mine. That's fine. I don't know what happens when you call it. After the show, I'm going to call the number and find out where it dials into because I'm curious.
So they gave us this little card box so you can keep other people's business cards organized. And they came with 2 notepads to write down. And they are labeled hot and not. The other side is mine and theirs, but I prefer hot and not.
Oh, that's kind of cool. You know, it's awesome to be given new cards and everything.
Yeah, man.
But I still have my old ones minus about 3.
They're all different colors, too.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, now I got to check and make sure mine are all different colors. Because, you know. Nope, all the same color.
Nuh-uh. Don't lie for sympathy, Lonzo.
Yeah, they're all different colors. Might as well be like Monopoly cards, community chest, or something. I don't know. Do people still use business cards though? I mean, with the way social media and stuff is, it's more like we bought something at Comic-Con and they had a code and they're like, hey, check us out on Facebook. Just take a picture of the code. I think that's kind of the way it's going now, isn't it?
I mean, it's easier that way, isn't it? I think it is.
Yeah.
Like, I just open my camera and then it's a button. Like,
Right.
to the menu.
When someone hands me a business card, I think they attended the Bon Jovi concert.
Lonzo, you're halfway there.
We'll try to get all the way there before the show's over.
You're living on a prayer, buddy.
One.
Growing superpower in the AFC.
Why, when I hit play, does it not play?
At a minimum, okay? Which could win in a 17-game season, 10 or 11. And it really good. Are the Bucks?
All right, so it's not there.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast. Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Maybe the card just bothers me because my name is spelled in orange and I don't like that. Maybe that's what it is.
What a take.
Excuse me, sir. Why don't you have a last name? Because I don't need one.
Does it just have Lonzo on it?
Yes.
Come on, for real? Oh, that's fantastic.
How
What are
many-
you complaining about? They could have hit you with your full legal name and you would not been able to say anything. That is the compliment they paid you. Told the story. I was I was driving into work this morning listening to another sports talk radio show. And I heard the host of that show. No, sorry, I heard a liner coming back to the host of that show say, "Do you know somebody who does this, sports talk radio, better than us?" And I quote, "No, you don't. They don't exist," end quote. What a take. And so I have said, hey, we're the best sports talk show in the upstate. I'm good with it. Never once have I denied the existence of other people that I've met, by the way. I have met the guy that this liner ran during a show. Physically shaking his hand. No. He doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. Love it.
Waking nightmares for them. They see long hair and they hear a yelling voice in the background. They're coming for me again. No, we're not. We don't have to because we don't look behind.
We only look ahead towards the next trophy that says we definitely exist because our name's on it.
We are forward thinkers. That's all I meant, of course.
Love to hear it. All right. Couple more things I wanted to get to. How about this story? This has gotten progressively weirder over the past couple of weeks. So there have been rumors, and predominantly up until a couple of days ago, nothing but rumors, that there was an effort from the Miami Dolphins to try to woo one Tom Brady into coming to play football in South Florida. And it never materialized. And one of the reasons it never materialized was because at the time that all of this movement was happening, Brian Flores filed his lawsuit. And basically the Dolphins went into self-preservation mode, right? Like lock it down till we're done and out of these woods. Now, the fun part was that when Tom Brady retired a number of weeks ago, the speculation was that there maybe was a chance that the retirement was to try to get his name off the roster so that he could then unretire and go to Miami. There was news that came out from Pro Football Talk a while back as well, Zoe, that not only was Tom Brady expected to end up in Miami, but that he and the Dolphins were attempting to talk Sean Payton, the former New Orleans Saints coach, into joining him there. And that might be why Sean Payton called it a career in New Orleans as well. That it looked like he and Brady both would be heading to Miami to take over the Dolphins. Then the lawsuit hit. Well, now Ben Volen of the Boston Globe has now reported that Brady was offered a, quote, position high in the Miami front office, end quote, similar to the job Derek Jeter held with the Miami Marlins. However, Tom Brady retired, which was expected to lead to him eventually unretiring with Miami, not Tampa. Brian Flores filed his lawsuit on the same day, which Brady would obviously probably not have known about, right? Probably not have known about it. So now we wait to see if it was indeed the Flores lawsuit that caused this, and if so, if Brian Flores, former head coach of the Miami Dolphins, had inclination that this was going to happen and decided to throw his civil complaint against the Dolphins after the accidental text he got from Bill Belichick down just in time to stop this move from happening as a final one-finger salute to the Miami Dolphins. We'll start with this, Zoe. Do you believe this? There are thoughts that Brady was offered a high-level position to move to Miami, retired so that he could clear his name and be a Dolphin, and that the New Orleans Saints, who still own the coaching rights, the contract rights to Sean Payton if he wanted to be a coach, that the Saints would have been in communication with the Dolphins and would have effectively traded Sean Payton to Miami in return for whatever playing or whatever rights they got or draft package or whatever. That all of this would have ended up with Tom Brady as a minority owner, at least, of the Miami Dolphins, an owner coach, and Sean Payton joining him, and it all got blowed up by the Brian Flores lawsuit.
All right, so I believe the Brady stuff. I do.
Okay.
I'm not so sure about the Sean Payton thing, because if Sean Payton could have been lured out of retirement, it would be for Dallas, because Dallas could offer him a lot more money. And, you know, that was the big deal during the time when he was retiring, is that he was going to come back as a Cowboy. But Brady, who they say, or they said at the time there was no conflict with he and Arians, well, we've learned otherwise from Arians, or it would appear so. So Brady going somewhere else, taking his ball and going somewhere else, that's not a surprise. And the fact that he would have a chance to be a partial owner, that would be a good investment for him. So I could see the Brady part. I'm just not so sure about Sean Payton.
Keep in mind, by the way, that when Tom Brady announced he was leaving New England, New Orleans was one of three teams that was expected to be in contention, right? It was expected to be San Francisco, New Orleans, or Tampa were the three teams that came into play.
And no offense. All right, it counts. And no offense to you, but New Orleans would have been the farthest on the list out of those three.
I disagree. I don't think it was. I think playing for Sean Payton was what Tom Brady wanted ultimately. And I think it came down to coaching, right? I think it came down to Arians or Payton. Arians, the QB whisperer, or Sean Payton, one of the most unique mental offensive minds in football. I think New Orleans was very high on the list until Tampa just made a better offer because the Saints were cash-strapped at the time. But the reason I believe this is, if Tom Brady did want to play for Sean Payton and the Saints just could not come up with a deal to make it happen, which is what it looked like happened here, it would have made sense that Brady, becoming a minority owner to effectively screw Tampa on his way out the door after a Super Bowl ring, right, would have figured out a way to get Sean Payton there. And then Sean Payton retires. By the way, remember, when he retired, Saints fans were absolutely shocked. There was no inclination that was coming down the pipe. So if Sean Payton retired knowing that, hey, I'm out until Tom Brady and the Dolphins give me that front office job, it makes sense. It's just an interesting story. Texas says, fan, after the Dolphins botched the Drew Brees trade back in the day, nothing surprises me. Poor Dolphins fans. Hour number 3 is next on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate. Grab back stream, don't go anywhere.
Couple things, Dark Chosen. Had a couple perms in the 80s. First of all, I did it once because my cousin talked me into it, and I did, and then I didn't learn my lesson, and I tried it again. I don't know why. I just easily talked into things with hair, and it was a mistake. But I also talked my cousin into doing it, and then made fun of him all the time after he actually did it. So, and Seb, that's, as I just told Rob, that is my favorite thing that's ever been on this message board ever. Vince McMahon made my card. Absolutely. the reason why I don't use my last name is because very early on, where my wife has worked, a lot of people listen, and then when they find out that she's married to me, they would go, do you know what your husband just said on the air? So it just solved a lot of things by me not saying my last name. When
That's
someone
not true. Lonzo joins this show, and I gave him a gimmick change.
when someone found out in high school, at my son's high school, the only way they found out who I was is he has the same middle name. And during an awards assembly, they mentioned his middle name, and then they came back and confronted me. Although I think I've become less controversial as I've gotten older. So, plus my last name's hard to spell for people. It has nothing to do with ego, by the way, wanting to be known as one name, like Madonna or Bono or someone like that. Nothing to do with that.
Lonzo went full diva.
It's cool, Trey. Believe it or not, I used to have a mullet. I came to South Carolina with a mullet.
So I think
And I said, I'm home.
my people. Now that spring is here, we kind of faked it last year, but we never got into it. I think we might do the Rob Brown Show Mullet Hunt 2022.
Is this a thing where where we have people sending pictures
Yeah.
of mullets?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't be getting that you found it on the internet thing. It has to be actual
it's gotta be
pictures.
authentic, and you got to be able to prove it. You have to put yourself in the photo. It's a selfie mullet hunt. If you're not watching the live stream, you miss out on so much. Like our annual spring mullet discussion. That was happening between our buddy Trey and Lonzo. I went to the Greenville Drive game on Sunday. And for the first time in the 2 springs I've been here, actually this is my 3rd spring technically, because I moved here in the spring of 2020. So I've had 2020, 21, and 22 springs now. So 3rd spring here.
Yeah, but that first one doesn't count because you couldn't go anywhere.
Couldn't really go out,
Yeah.
But I can say I am no longer shocked by the amount of mullets that I see in the upstate.
See, I would have thought that at the Swamp Rabbit games, because, mullets are kind of associated with hockey, that you would see more there.
There's a healthy amount at Rabbits games, but the baseball game Sunday was an extreme amount of mullets. Like an extreme amount of mullets. So last year, we kind of teased and started, but never really got deep into Mullet Hunt 2021. But I think this spring, we may go ahead and launch the first annual Rob Brown Show Great Mullet Hunt of 2022. And I can tell you that I've been told multiple times that we have the Fan Upstate gear coming for us to do giveaways again. Hats and shirts. And they'll be given away separately. Though I think we may do like a 1 month, maybe, I don't know, maybe like May. Maybe we do it May.
Mullet May.
May.
Yeah.
The Great Mullet Hunt of 2022. And basically the way it would work, I think we're going to do it starting May 1st. What we're going to do is if you see a mullet in the wild, you must snap a picture of it with some sort of proof that you are in Greenville or Spartanburg, have seen it live and in living color. You submit that mullet to me via Twitter or email. We will put it in front of our judging panel anonymously, right? And I think I got to get Stone Man on the mullet judging panel.
Oh, he absolutely. He had a killer mullet back in the day.
Yeah, I believe he
I've
did.
seen the pictures, and it's amazing.
I think we got to go with the 3 bald guys on the other end of the building, right? I think we got to go Stone Man. I think we got to go with Big Mark. And I think we got to go with Twisted Todd as our mullet judging experts, right? Because they have no hair in the game, literally or metaphorically.
Well, 2 of the 3 I know had long hair. Todd had long hair back when we first started, and then long reddish hair too.
Yeah.
By the way, it was amazing. But after a while, it started thinning, so he had to go the route that he
Gave
went.
up the fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got Stone Man, who I know was a hair metal guy in the 80s.
Dude, he could grow a glorious mullet even now.
He shaves his head every March for St. Baldrick's Day, right? Which is a big fundraiser he does, which is awesome, and I respect it. Shaves down to the nub every March. And, like, by April 15th, he's got the best hair in the building again. And he's like a freaking troll doll, both in size and hair.
You said it, not me.
So I think our mullet judging panel will be the 3 bald guys because they got no hair in the game. Stone Man, Hendricks, Twisted Todd will be our so starting. I think I'm going to start at May 1st. I'm going to start at May 1st. So all of May, we will do the Rob Brown Show Mullet Hunt 2022. You submit your mullets via Twitter or into my email inbox. I will anonymously have those mullets judged by our judging panel. Whoever gets the most points in May, at the end of May, will get a fresh, crisp, brand new The Fan Upstate hat and t-shirt.
All right, so we need to, and we got time to clarify this. Are the extras? So let's say if they have a cigarette, or if
it's all part of the judging.
If they're wearing a cutoff,
all part of the judging.
Okay, all right. Because I'm going classic mullet attire here. So
are they driving a Trans Am? Are they listening to Def Leppard? Right? These are all things that impact the score. The mullet itself is one thing, but the aura that surrounds the mullet is what gives the mullet its power, right?
Can we disqualify the bowling alley in Clinton?
No.
Because everyone there has a mullet. So, I mean, you know.
Do you want to win the mullet hunt, and are you willing to go hunt the mullet, right? Because it's one thing to go to a baseball game and see 2 or 3 really good mullets, but you got to consider your surroundings too, right? Like if they're at a baseball game and they're in just like shorts and a drive t-shirt, that's a good mullet, but there's not really a lot of atmosphere to it.
Does the female mullet or the femullet, does that automatically...
That'll be up to our judges.
Okay, all right.
That'll be up to our judges.
Because those exist. I've seen those.
That'll be up to our judges. And by the way, because I just got the text that goes, "Hey, Liberob, I can't believe you're stereotyping people like this." I'm not. Listen,
it's a hairstyle, dude.
If you want to rock a mullet, you have got to have a confidence about you that I don't think these guys on the radio show are having some fun with mullets is going to bug you.
Hey, we just saw a very in-your-face mullet at the Masters.
Yeah. Cam Smith was a 10-point mullet.
I immediately became a fan when you pointed him out to me. And not only did he have a killer mullet, but dude nearly won the whole thing.
Yeah. And for the record, you snag a mullet like that on a golf course, you're probably going to get some bonus points, right? Because that's a mullet in a very elusive scenario. You don't see a lot of mullets rocking around the 16th.
Go down to Greenwood. I mean, does a 9-hole course count? It's still a golf course.
Up to the judges.
Okay.
Up to the judges.
Played that course many times. It's
I
awesome.
will be telling the judges, our 3 judges, Todd, Mark, and Stoneman, you may judge any way you see fit based on 2 criteria. Number 1, quality of the mullet, and number 2, atmosphere of the mullet, right? If you catch a dude listening to Def Leppard in the front seat of his TA, rocking a, I don't know, Leonard Skinner crop top, you're probably going to threaten the first 10-point mullet. If you catch a mullet downtown, and just khaki shorts and a polo, but a mullet, it might be a great mullet, but it's not a great atmosphere. You might get 2 or 3 points deducted from the score on that one. It is about atmosphere and quality of mullet.
And listen, do not set up mullet pictures. Don't go get the mullet wig and roll your smokes up in your t-shirt and think, okay, I got this, because our panel of experts, they can spot a fake.
Yeah. Those guys all three have a deep connection to hair. They know it, right? They know it. So starting May 1st, the Rob Brown Show Great Mullet Hunt of 2022 is on. Top-seeded mullet at the end of, or top-seeded mullet hunter at the end of May will get a Fan Upstate hat and t-shirt. And Lonzo will autograph it for you if you want. Bring up the value a little bit.
All right, we need to negotiate that later, because we didn't talk about that.
Lonzo said, it's not in my contract. You'll have to talk to my agent. Thank you very much. All right, 844-FAN phone, 844-FANFONE. Text us on the Preferred Home Services text line at 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-M. We'll read them on the air. Texter says, so no pictures of Joe Dirt? No. It's got to be live and in living color, man. You have to see the mullet in the wild. The mullets on Instagram are a dime a dozen. You got to find these mullets in their natural habitat. You got to go to where the mullets live. You got to stalk the mullet. You got to get a good picture of the mullet. And I will go so far as to say 1 bonus point if you are selfie with the mullet. You get yourself in the picture with the mullet, I'll give you a bonus point.
Yeah, there you go. There are some people probably already, I got a family member who's, get a selfie with that family member.
Yeah. You can take them down with you if you want that hat that bad. I'm for it.
Maybe take a picture on a dirt road or a cornfield or, a bowling alley, like I said before.
Atmosphere is good for points. I'm gonna go.
Or better yet, Walmart. I mean, I think if you can do it at Walmart or the dollar store, you're really working your way up to getting that free shirt and hat.
I'm gonna talk to the judges. We're gonna go 5 points quality of mullet, 5 points atmosphere surrounding mullet, 1 point if you are in with the mullet. So it's a bonus point if you get in the picture with the mullet. It can be a selfie. It can be like, yo, can I grab a picture with you? And listen, we're going to have people trying different styles, right? You will have the direct mullet hunter, the guy that just walks up and goes, can I snag a picture with you? You will have the discreet mullet hunter. That's the guy that goes outside of the bar and takes a picture back through the window so they don't get caught being awkward. You will have the aggressive mullet hunter that is going to take a couple of Saturdays in May to go drive around the upstate and find the mullet instead of just randomly encountering them. And then somewhere out there, I will even go one step further. Somewhere out there is going to be somebody, Zoe, who is going to grow their own mullet, who is going to mullet themselves. And I will go ahead and tell you, if you mullet yourself and submit a self-mullet, then there may be a good quantity of bonus points in that. Like, if you self-mullet yourself, there may be a solid 2 mullets worth of points involved there. But the thing is, you have to do the mullet in public, right? Don't go in the bathroom at 11:30 at night, mulletify yourself, take the picture, and then immediately finish the job. If you self-mullet, I need you out in public. You need that selfie out in the midst of people. Your local watering hole, a drive game, a Triumph game, whatever it might be. There might be some double points for the self-mullet.
All right, so Rob, I got to know how comfortable do you feel around the mullet? Because you and I am told, we'll see, we'll be doing some appearances, maybe even in May. If we are surrounded by mullets, are you okay with that? Because I'll be at home. I have truly never
met a person with a mullet that I was not friends with. Like, short of the one or two who are like off the rocker, most people with mullets, like I said, most guys that rock the mullet, most people that rock the mullet, they got a level of confidence I aspire to. And that's from somebody who is convinced that he entertains people for 3 hours a day by sitting in a chair and yelling.
See any mullets at the Bon Jovi concert last night?
Yup. That was lucrative hunting ground in the Mullet Hunt 2022. I mean, rich hunting at the Bon Jovi show.
So between now and May, check out who's coming to Heritage Park, because you're outside and you got a good shot of getting, especially if there's a country concert.
I'll tell you right now, there is a Styx and REO Speedwagon show coming in May.
Oh, no.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, if you really want that shirt and hat, you better snag that ticket to the Styx REO with, by the way, special guest, Loverboy. Lucrative hunting ground.
You could get a multi-mullet picture. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm going to go, there's probably bonus points mixed in if you get multiple mullets in one shot. I will also add on to onto the stipulations here, Lonzo, that European mullets count too. All right, European mullets count too.
All right, I need a little help here about what exactly constitutes a European mullet.
Like a very styled mullet, not like I've got the mullet and it's here. I'm talking about like the David Beckham styled mullet, like that. That's a style mullet. That's
Okay,
a
I got
style
you.
mullet.
I got you there.
You know?
So my mullet back in the day would have been styled. So
So you
because
rock the Euro mullet.
I had bangs and spikes on top with the mullet in the back.
Ooh, see, does that qualify as mullet? With
It's still
bangs, though?
it's still a mullet though. Well, yeah. Because if I combed them back, you wouldn't have been able to tell.
I guess spikes are party in the front aspect of the mullet.
Yeah, I moosed.
Oh, it's business in the front, party in the
it's
back.
business, and I moosed the bangs. It was amazing.
Texas said you should get Coastal Carolina quarterback and mullet aficionado Grayson McCall on the show during Mullet May. Solid chance. I like that. Lonzo is fiercely Googling Grayson McCall right now.
Got to make sure that
It's actually a mullet.
that it's acceptable. I don't know. I may need some more recent stuff
That's fair.
because I'm not seeing any mullets here.
We'll see if maybe Grayson wants to judge Mullet Fest with us. All right, so Mullet May starting May 1st. I'm going on the record. I'm not even I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I'm not even asking for approval from the bosses on this. We're just YOLOing into it.
All right, so one of the pictures that pops up is the 10 best mullets in sports history, and there it is, and that's glorious, and it's nice. Yeah.
Grayson McCall made the cut. I like it. Sure did. That's a good one. That's a great mullet. Great mullet. Let's see. Texture says, how do I send a picture? Well, hold on to it because Mullet May starts May 1st. The Great Mullet Hunt 2022, the Rob Brown Show Mullet Hunt 2022 starts May 1st.
All right, I have another question because we're figuring this stuff out as we go. Can they enter more than once?
Oh yeah, you submit as many mullets.
Okay,
as you want.
because you got between now and May to gather your photos.
Yeah.
You can send an entire portfolio between now and then.
Absolutely. This is a points accumulation system. You will be judged by individual mullet and awarded a total of points, but you will rack up those points mullet by mullet until the end of May. And at the end of May, we will have one mullet master who will win an fan upstate shirt and hat from the Rob Brown Show for being the master of mullets.
This could become a passion for you, and before you know it, you've got a coffee table book of mullets.
Yeah.
And people come over to your house. What's that? Oh, I'm glad you asked. This is my mullet book.
So, hold on to them. You will be able to email me your mullet pics at rob.brown@thefanupstate.com. rob.brown@thefanupstate.com. Or you can tweet them to me on social media at The Rob Brown Show on Twitter and Facebook, at The Rob Brown Show. But hold on to them for now. We will start the Rob Brown Show Mullet Hunt 2022 on May 1st. You may begin submitting your mullets then. It will be point accumulation. You will get 1 to 10 points, based 5 points on quality of mullet, 5 points on atmosphere of mullet. If you are in the photo with the mullet, you will get 1 bonus point. And if you self-mullet and take the picture in public, we will grade the mullet and you will receive double points for that mullet. So you better be committed for that one, right? Like if you're gonna put a potential 20-point mullet on the line, plus your bonus point because you're in the picture, you can score 21 points with the self-mullet picture. I'm just saying, get them ready. Let's take a break. When we come back here in just a minute from right now, I got a couple more stories I want to get into. I know it's after the Masters, but Jim Nantz has told the story about why he says, "Hello, friends," when he starts Masters coverage, and I like that story. I'll share it with you. Plus, an update on the civil cases facing Deshaun Watson. We'll tell you when the first might go to court. Coming back on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate. Telling you, man. Once you get hooked on the mullet hunt, it's over.
You know what? If you're offended by the mullet talk, then you don't get it because people with real mullets,
Love it.
they love the attention. You don't wear a hairstyle like that without saying, "Hey, look at me."
That's what I'm saying. You gotta have confidence to rock the mullet. You can't half the mullet. You gotta go full. You gotta own it.
I've been accused of having a mullet right now, and I've had to explain to people, no, I do not, because my hair is the same length all the way around. That's not how a mullet works. Usually the people accusing me of such have little boy haircuts, who they think are adult haircuts, but they're actually little boy haircuts. They're the same haircuts they got when they were little boys.
I saw the sign.
You know, from historical photos, it would appear that many of our founding fathers had long hair. I wonder if any of them actually had mullets underneath their wigs.
And it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign.
I don't know how to word this, so I'm just going to say, when was the first mullet?
When was the first mullet?
Oh my gosh. It's bringing up Benjamin Franklin. That is not a mullet.
The OG mullet.
The mullet wasn't just an 80s thing. Rebels have rocked it.
Good man. Good man.
Only because you teased it.
Good man. Oh, we got some good ones today. It is time for Faces and Heels, where Alonzo and I take a look at some socially ambiguous situations and try to figure out who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. I'm not going to lie. I was about to skip over it entirely, and then Alonzo was like, no, this is my favorite segment. We're doing it. So here we are.
Yeah, that's not it. I didn't want there to be false advertisement. That's all. You teased it, so I made it happen.
All right. I got some good ones. You know, there's a lot of them I do, and then after you read through them, you're like, all right, it feels like it was more obvious than it was at first glance. I got a couple that I don't know if they are. Here's one, Lonzo. 26-year-old woman got engaged 4 days ago to her 25-year-old fiance. They've been dating for 2 years. They were friends for 2 years before that. She says, my future mother-in-law gave my fiance his great-grandmother's ring to propose with, and it's absolutely gorgeous. He even had it altered to fit my ring size. His great-grandfather personally handmade the ring and chose the accompanying diamonds since he was in the diamond business after the war ended, and his great-grandma decided to pass it on as an heirloom when she died. Now, on Monday, I wore my ring into work, and I was excited to show my girlfriends when we all went to lunch. I swear, I didn't flash it around. It's got a big rock on it, and I wasn't trying to be annoying. I wanted to show my girlfriends. I didn't want to create a big fuss. They were the only ones that I pointed it out to. Well, after lunch, one of my coworkers, 35-year-old woman who is not married, said that I was being unprofessional by showing off my ring. She said I was being insensitive to my other female coworkers who wore their engagement rings and have much smaller diamonds. I was obviously confused and told her that issue wasn't my problem. She said I was being rude and said that it made the other engagement rings look cheap in comparison to mine. She also told me the silent rule, that big diamonds should only be worn after 5 years of marriage. After she was done talking, I told her I'm never taking off my ring and she can suck it up. She said that one or two of the other girls in the office felt offended by that, but she said, I don't care. I'm wearing my ring anyway. So, face or heel for wearing the ring and showing up the other girls' rings in the office.
She's not a heel. I'm the woman who complained about it. That's the heel, for sure. I mean, so what you're saying is you're jealous. That's on you. That's not on her. That's on you. And it's like if you drive up with a brand new car, don't you want people to see it? If you walk in with a brand new suit and you look good, don't you want people to see it? Well, in some cases, they're going to see it. It's on her finger. They're going to see it. It's not showing it off just because you're wearing it. And that's ridiculous. And that's an awesome story behind the ring, too. I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say this. And only because, well, no, I don't really care.
Women are mean, man.
First off, y'all are mean. All right?
To each other.
Y'all are mean as hell. I saw a tweet the other day that was like the height, what was it? I'm paraphrasing it, but it was like the height of male privilege is being able to wear the same suit over and over, where women have to go constantly buy new wardrobes. And it's like, dude, y'all realize we don't even recognize it, right? Like the only reason that y'all feel like y'all as women need to buy new outfits is because other women give you crap about it.
Or they just like wearing new outfits.
Yeah. No man has ever been like, honey, you've worn that dress already. Why don't you go get something new, right? No man has ever done that before, short of like maybe a couple Hollywood dudes.
I was going to say there may be some people that are in a price range that you and I will never, ever get to. So
no regular dude has ever been like, sweetheart, you know I like that dress on you, but you have worn it in front of these friends before, so maybe try something new.
Sounds like something Tom Brady would say.
Tom Brady is married to the world's most attractive woman, Lonzo. Like, I'm pretty sure Gisele's got, I can buy a new
Tom
outfit
goes,
every day money.
Giselle, no.
Yeah, you're embarrassing me, billionaire wife of mine. Billionaire supermodel, lingerie model wife of mine. How embarrassing, eh, Tommy? Anyway, diamonds are dumb. All right, can we just call it what it is? Diamonds are dumb. I feel like we as a species should have evolved past the point of, me love you, here shiny rock. Which is what it is. I love you so much, I found this shiny rock for you. And you don't even have to, you know how much more impressive it would be, Lonzo, if we had to go out and find our own shiny rocks, right? You want to prove that you love her? Go down to the river, go find your own shiny rock, cut it down, like make it a gift. I bought this shiny rock for you. Is we should be past that as a species, y'all.
I think what it comes down to is if it makes her happy, then you should try to get it for her. And if shiny rocks make her happy, then you should try to get it for her.
I just don't understand it. And like, I try not to judge because, again, I spend far more money on sports memorabilia than a reasonable person should, right? Like, I got helmets and personalized jerseys hanging in my house, and they make me happy. I like wearing them. So I'm not going to hate on somebody for thinking a diamond's great. I'm just saying, overall, the significance we put on a shiny rock to establish our love for each other is...
So I thought this kind of behavior only happened in high school or Mean Girls or something, some Lifetime movie. I didn't know it really happens in real life.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I'm gonna say lovingly, y'all know, lady callers jump to the front of the call list when you call in. Y'all have got a special place. I have gone out of my way in my career when I can find a young lady, whether it's been Marion or Savannah or any of the women that we've had on this show over the years, I will always push them to the front to try to do what I can to create a space for them in this industry because it's hard enough as it is. But there ain't nobody meaner to a woman than another woman. Y'all just get mean over this stuff and over shiny rocks. Now, she's perfectly fine as the face for wearing it. If you don't like it, don't look, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Some people have more stuff than you do. Welcome to the real world. It hurts, Snowflake. It does. All right. Here's another one. Young lady is getting married, and her fiance has a sister that has a tattoo. Now, the sister, years ago when she was younger and in her more formidable days, traveled to Europe, did a summer abroad. And when she was there, she ended up in Tibet. And Lonzo, she got on her shoulder a tattoo of a Tibetan good luck symbol. It's a swastika. It's a swastika, which is a Tibetan good luck symbol, but obviously not what people see anymore for real reasons. The fiance's sister was asked to be a bridesmaid. All of the other bridesmaids will be wearing shoulderless, strapless dresses, but the bride-to-be said, she's wearing shoulders, or she's not in the wedding ceremony. The brother is going, listen, I know what it means, but that's not what she got it for. It's all dressed and decorated in traditional, like, Tibetan decor or whatever. She is very important to me. I want her in the wedding, and she does not want to stand out by being the only girl on the platform wearing an over-the-shoulder dress or shawl or something. And the sister said, the fiance said, I am sorry. I'm not having someone with a swastika tattooed on their arm in my wedding day photos, so she covers it up or she's not in. Face and heel, Lonzo.
This is very difficult because
I know.
It isn't like suddenly the tattoo appeared. And if you wanted her in the wedding, the easiest thing to do is have everybody not wear shoulderless stuff. So if everyone's wearing something that covers up their shoulders, then you don't have this problem anymore. So you're singling her out, which you could say she singled herself out by putting that on her shoulder. She had to know what it means everywhere else. This is so hard. I am curious, though, why I always have to go first.
I'll go first. She's not in the wedding, or she covers it up. I agree entirely. Like, I understand you can get tattooed whatever you want, but there are repercussions from that. And I understand why you got it if you were in Tibet and, like, in the culture for a while, right? But you're not Tibetan. Nobody's going to look at you and go, oh, she's from Tibet. They're trying to hang on to their symbol and not let it be absconded with by pure evil.
I was going to say, even if they did go, she's from Tibet, doesn't mean they would know the culture and know that it's like, because as you're saying, this is the first I've ever heard of it. Yeah. And I would think that a lot of people would be in that boat.
So she's not in the wedding. I'm sorry, right? Like, I don't know what to tell you. I know her feelings are hurt. I know your feelings as my fiance are hurt, but no. I am not going to end up in wedding photos that show up on the internet in 10 years with Rob Brown has swastika adorned white lady in his, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
All right.
If that's a deal breaker, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not. And even if she got it with the best and most innocent of intentions, that's not what that symbol means anymore. And I don't care if you're 12, you know what that symbol is, right? Like, it is arguably the most notorious part of human history is what happened under that symbol. The bride-to-be is absolutely in the face position here. You are not rocking a swastika in my wedding.
All right, so I agree with you, but at the same time, she could compromise and do what I said and just change all the dresses and make them to where the shoulders not.
Wants it. It's her wedding.
I know. But
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And in a case where it's like, she's going to, like, if the fiance is like, she's going to be up there, we're not getting married, and it's that important to you, then yeah, maybe you go, okay, I really wanted strapless dresses, but I'll go ahead and say we're going to have a shoulder thing on it. With the knowledge of sister or whatever she is, you understand, you were not going bare shouldered at any point during the ceremony or the reception. If I see that tattoo, you are kicked out immediately. Do you understand?
Right, because you're also thinking about wedding pictures, and you don't want that showing up in wedding pictures and things like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. If I see that tattoo, you are gone, hands down. All right, here's another one. Pair of brothers. Brother A and Brother B found out that not terribly long ago, after their mom passed away, that their dad, not actually their biological father, raised them, but the mom had an affair, cheated on the dad, got pregnant, had twins, not the children of the dad, but they stayed together. So, to the current situation. Brother B and his wife had a baby boy about a month ago. Understandably, my brother is still pretty shaken by our mother's affair and lies, and obviously is going to need some therapy to move forward, despite that he seemed to be doing well until the start of April. The current issue came to light because my brother has dark hair and very dark eyes, but his baby boy is as blonde as can be and blue-eyed. Apparently, some of our family's comments about the baby's coloring really set my brother off. He came to me last week panicking about the possibility of my nephew not biologically being his. It sounded like he wanted to go nuclear and confront his wife. It also seemed to me like he had already made up his mind that she definitely cheated. I did not want him to confront my sister-in-law and potentially blow up his marriage because of our parents' marriage. I also tried to explain that my nephew's eye and hair color could very well darken in the coming month or years, but he wasn't listening. Given the situation, I gave the best advice I could think of at the time. Get an over-the-counter paternity test on his own. When the results come back that my nephew is his, that he can drop this stupid obsession and work on his trust issues on his own in therapy. So ultimately, I suggested he just do the cheek swab in secret, pay the couple $100, wait and see. Well, he paid for the test with a credit card he shares with his wife. She saw what the charge was for and apparently went ballistic. She kicked him out of the house, and now he's crashing with me. In the past couple of days, I fielded calls from my sister-in-law, my own mother, and my father. Everyone seems to be in agreement that I have caused this. Face or heel?
He's the face, and he tried to help his brother out, and he gave him the best way, but his brother's an idiot. So, I mean, you can't fix that. The fact that he used a joint credit card, that's on the brother, the guy who's freaking out already. And I'm talking about the right one. You're asking about the brother who, not the guy who freaked out, but the guy who gave the advice, right? That's who we're talking about, right? Who are we talking about?
The brother who gave the advice.
Okay, yeah. He's a face. Because what was he supposed to do? I mean, first of all, he tried to stop him from doing anything, tried to get him to calm down and quit freaking out, but he gave him a logical way for him to find out if that's really his kid or not and do it in a discreet manner. It's just that his brother is not very bright. And so that's on his brother. It's not on him. Because what was he supposed to do?
I am going with he's the heel. He's the heel. Now, for a couple of reasons. Number one, because I know we're way up on the break here. Number one, Lonzo, I doubt that you have, because who would throw away a catch? But I have been cheated on. I actually walked in on a girlfriend of mine and another dude doing the nasty in her apartment one day, right? Drove over to visit her, got to her apartment, couldn't find her, was like, well, I got a key, I'll just let myself in and hang out until she gets back. Walked in to find her and another dude bumping uglies, doing the oh skinny bop, oh. It blew me away. And it took a while to get past that trust issue in future relationships, right? Because you kind of, once it happens to you, you kind of get into this mindset of like, this is how it is. This is my life. This is how it goes. And it took a while before I was able to get past that trust issue to move on with other girlfriends and not be worried every time I wasn't with them that they were off with another dude. This guy's got trauma, like for real trauma. I could not imagine spending 22, 25 years thinking that this guy's your dad and then finding out, nope, your mom had an affair and they both lied to you about it for your entire life. He's got trauma issues. Step one in an adult relationship is not just immediately assume the worst, not trust your partner, and go around their back trying to figure out if you're right or not. Step one is to sit down and go, hey, listen, you know my background, you know my past, you know my trust issues. I am having concerns right now based on what's happening here. Can we talk about it? And have the conversation. And she may still get offended by that. She may still get hurt, but if she's a good partner and she understands your trauma and where you're coming from and your background and why you feel that way, then she'll probably have the conversation with you. She might go, it hurts that you think I would do that to you,
No,
but I
dude,
understand why.
Dude, that would never work. That would never work. What you're saying...
Grown-up adult conversation?
Yeah, what are those? I don't believe those actually exist. He'd be in worse shape now than what he was already in because... No, it's you're still accusing. No matter what you do, you're still accusing.
No, I agree. But you have a traumatic background as to why. And I think that's important. All right, your thoughts. Preferred Home Services text line 71307. Start your text with fam. We'll read them on the air. Who's the face, who's the heel in that one? Really, that one's the one I want to know your thoughts on. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show. We wrap it up next right here on the Fan Upstate.
No, I'm not.
Imagine yelling, "The British are coming," with a sleek mullet flowing in the wind. I dislike WWE shortening names, but they have just changed Austin Theory to Theory. Is that on Twitter?
Yes.
That's all right. Leave it in there.
All right.
It's funny.
Yeah, because I watched it last night. So in ancient Rome, the Hun cut was an early bi-level style sported by young, wealthy bands of hooligans in the 6th century BC, many of whom, not unlike today's soccer fans, supported differing factions in one of the popular sports of the day, chariot races. They harassed the citizenry while styled like Rome's worst enemies, the fierce nomadic horsemen who terrorized the empire and helped hasten its fall. The hair on their heads they cut off in front back to the temples, wrote the 6th century Greek Byzantine scholar Procopius in his Secret History, leaving the part behind to hang down to a very great length in a senseless fashion. The effect was likely strange and shocking, says author Gordon Doherty, whose history-based legionary series is set in the 4th century Roman Empire. So the mullet goes back as far as the Roman Empire. Also in the story, Ben Franklin, I don't know if he called his hair this or they're calling it. They call it the skullet, not the mullet.
There's a difference in the skullet and the mullet.
Okay. The skullet, you're kind of bald. So I'm guessing.
Yeah, skullet is down to the skull.
There are also Native American roots as far as that goes.
Then fill up with premium at Circle K. Circle K Premium is our best fuel with
barely missed the geese stopping traffic on my way in today. The backup happened right as I got in the driveway. On both sides of Garlington. We've got like 25 little babies. They decided to go across the road.
Yesterday I pulled in and there were 5 or 6 in the parking lot at the entrance. And one of them, like, they were running away from the car, and one of them turned right. It was like coming down the aisle to where I park. And so I was just following the Jeep, and eventually he just took off. And, well, all the other ones took over, and they were yelling. It was hilarious.
All right, time for Twitter trending topics where I tell Rob what is trending on the internets, and he will tell everybody why they're trending. The first one, not good. Cam Newton is trending.
So Cam is trending because Cam decided to talk, and that was a bad idea. Cam was asked, well, I don't know how the conversation came up because I haven't found the podcast yet, though I don't know if I'll listen to it or not.
I watched a little bit of it. Renee Paquette retweeted the section.
Yeah.
You know, and so you wonder, am I taking it out of context? No. There's no way to take it out of context.
Cam basically said a woman's place is to cook, clean, and follow the orders of a man, which in like 1940 would have been just fine. He would have been heralded.
But there's more to it, and you need to watch it. It's even worse than that. But I get it. I get to a degree what the first part of it is. He's talking about how women want to be perceived. So you'd have to watch that part. The second part, the part that you're talking about, yeah, that's the part that got him in trouble.
I mean, I'll listen. I'll listen for sure, but you're gonna have a hard time coming clean out of what I've heard so far.
All right.
Is all I'm gonna say.
The next thing is trending is Ezekiel, and I know you haven't watched yet, but the thing that you want to happen, that we want to happen, it continues.
I love it.
And you have to watch just for that reason. He makes an appearance, and it looks like everywhere he shows up, Kevin Owens is going to show up and call him a liar.
Love it.
And not understand why no one else gets it.
It's a Saturday Night Live skit.
Oh, it's great. It is absolutely great. All right, the next thing is trending is Austin Theory.
No, it's just theory now.
It's just theory.
Here I gotta say, I hate when Vince shortens names, right? I hate when
By
Vince
the way,
shortens names.
I'm kind of okay with this one.
Same.
Yeah.
I hate when Vince shortens names, except for this one. Because the kayfabe of Vince just hearing the name Austin after eating one last stunner at WrestleMania and freaking out about it, that's a name change I can get. When you change other guys' names, right, it's just Xavier now. No, but why, though? But why? This one makes sense, and I love it.
Yeah, they didn't explain why. I mean, Theory tells them that his name has changed, but hopefully they elaborate later. All right, the last thing that's trending is Stranger Things 4.
I dropped off after season 1.
Dude.
I dropped off after season 1.
Season 3 was excellent.
Was it?
It was the best of so far. The new trailer just dropped.
Gotcha. I'll give it a shot. Like I said, I dropped after season 1, season 2. I was like, it's a little over for even me. I'll give it another shot. That's it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your afternoon. We're back tomorrow for the midweek edition of the best sports talk show in South Carolina. I'm Rob. He's Alonzo. You're you. You're listening to the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. Later, brother. Thanks, stream. You guys are awesome. See you tomorrow. Bye.